Welcome. I'm Nathan Bell, the city's finance director. In addition to being responsible for the finance functions of the city, I also oversee the administration of the city's municipal court. The finance department is broken into three functional divisions. The first one is the budget and procurement division. It's comprised of 3 FTE and is responsible for preparing the city's budget, as well as the budget for 3 other agencies, the Springfield Economic Development Agency, the Regional Fiber Consortium, and the Metropolitan Wastewater Management Commission. Additionally, it's responsible for supplemental budgets, licensing and franchising, long-range forecasting, process improvement initiatives, as well as the oversight of the city's decentralized procurement activities. Essentially making sure the city is compliant with federal, state, and local laws, regulations, and ordinances as it relates to the procurement of goods and services. The next division is the accounting division. It's comprised of 6 FTE. The accounting division is responsible for the general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, assessments, and monthly and annual financial reports, including the city's annual comprehensive financial report. They also do the accounting for the other 3 agencies that I mentioned earlier, and assist the budget division with the city's annual budget, supplemental budgets, and process improvement initiatives. And then finally is the municipal court division. It's comprised of 9.14 FTE. Essentially, it's a misdemeanor and traffic court, and we average about 12 to 13,000 cases a year. I just want to note that the judges are on the finance org chart and included within the finance FTE count. However, they are hired by and report directly to the city council, and that's why I include the city council there. We have a presiding judge, as well as 3 pro tems that work part-time, essentially providing off-bench time for the presiding judge, as well as covering time off. I'm not going to actually read through this slide. This details our mission. If you would like, please pause the presentation to read through yourself. Moving on to our budget summary. This includes 2 graphs. The first one is a budget for all funds. And this one, it covers a lot of different funds, and so I won't go into too much detail on it. The finance activities, including the courts, in addition to the general fund, we are funding from the local police option levy, as well as all the utility funds as it relates to 2 positions that are funded by the utilities, one in the accounting division and one in the budget division. But I do want to highlight the materials and services. There's a significant decrease from the FY22 amended to the FY23 proposed. This is a result of a one-time payment in FY22 of $1 million to the Lima Lane Park and Recreation District. Lima Lane did not receive a direct ARPA allocation, and they requested the city for a portion of their funds, in which council directed staff to make that payment of $1 million. This is happening in FY22 as a one-time 1 year only. Looking at the chart for the general fund, on this one, I think I want to call out the increase in the personal services. Typically in personal services, we generally see increases in the neighborhood of 3 to 5%. In this particular year, though, we're looking at 7.8%. And I think you can see this across all the departments in their personnel services. And it's the result of the city's compensation plan. We have market-based compensation, and every 3 years we do a study to update our compensation plan. The last study was done in FY21 and implemented in FY22. When we put the FY22 budget together, we estimated a little lower than the actual results. With the implementation, rather than do a supplemental budget to increase the personnel services for FY22, we asked the departments to just absorb the difference, which they have been able to do so. But the end result is we're seeing what appears to be a larger increase from FY22 amended to the FY23 proposed. I think it's also just worth noting that when we do these compensation studies and update our compensation plan, a lot of times we have positions that were at the top step that will move into the new pay grade at a lower step and then have additional merit increases over the coming years. And we also saw that come into play as well. Moving on to our accomplishments, initiatives, and future considerations. I'm not going to touch on all of these. If you would like more information, you can find that in our department summary pages in the proposed budget. For the finance division, I would like to highlight some accomplishments. One of them is to have a reorganized and streamlined our budget document. And this has been an initiative we've been working on a number of years, but this particular year we made some significant structural changes that align our document with the requirements for the GFOA's budget award in documents. And we will be submitting it this year and look forward to that outcome. I'd also like to highlight the updated pilot agreement. It's been well over a decade since we've revisited this agreement, and the payment in lieu of tax that the city has been receiving was becoming misaligned with its original intended purpose and well below what we were seeing with peer communities across the state. This past year, the city engaged Springfield Utility Board and renegotiated a new pilot agreement that has generated additional revenues for the city's general fund and puts us in alignment with comparable agencies. Moving on to the FY23 initiatives, I'd like to highlight the Utility Fund Financial Management Initiative. We had a vacancy in FY22 of our Utility Fund Analyst position. We've restructured this position to provide what we think will be better support for our utility funds, and they will be focusing on long-term financial planning, utility rate planning, and the evaluation of capital improvement needs relative to the annual maintenance requirements. Moving on to our court division, FY22 accomplishments, improved failure to appear process. This streamlined this process from a process that took generally several weeks to now a process that just takes several days. And I highlight this in that as an organization and as a department, we're always looking for opportunities for improvement and for efficiencies, and this really highlights that. Moving on to FY23 initiatives, I'm going to highlight the court security safety project. This has been a high priority project for our council for a number of years. However, we've had the challenge around funding of this project. With our ARPA allocation, we will be implementing a court security safety project in FY23 with the goal of providing a safer environment for our court operations. And then finally, I'd like to touch on the mental health impact on the courts and the future considerations. This is a consideration that's been on our radar for a number of years, and it continues to be a challenge. I think there's a general recognition that our community has seen an increase in individuals with mental health challenges, and often these individuals get caught up in our justice system, from interactions with the police on the streets to our jails to our courts. And we will, there is no easy quick solution to this. We will continue to work with our partnering agencies to look for funding and creative solutions. And it's my hope in the coming years that I will be bringing some initiatives forward that will address this issue. That completes my presentation. I want to thank you for taking the time to do it. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I can be reached by email at nbell@springfield-or.gov or by phone at 541-726-2364. Thank you.